Welcome to the Lose Weight, Live Life podcast. If you're a female professional or entrepreneur who would do anything to lose weight, yet finds it impossible to stick to a diet, to eat less, or just what you think you should, this podcast is for you. I am your host, certified life and weight coach, Clair MACKENZIE. Listen in to learn how to stop overeating, lose weight for the last time, and create a relationship with food and yourself that you love, all without diet deprivation and self-sabotage. Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome to episode number 39. Today I'm talking about lockdown weight gain. But first, let's check in. How are things? I have, for the first time in over a year, this week written in a paper diary. I hadn't realised, but all of a sudden I have things to look forward to and happenings with friends and the children's schools to schedule. I also have something very exciting happening, which is that within the last 10 days, we have both accepted an offer on our house and had an offer accepted on another house. So fingers crossed, within the next few months, we will be moving. This is a massive life change for my family. We currently live in a 400-year-old house in the countryside. It's the house that my father bought when I was about 8 years old, totally derelict, and he lovingly spent the next 5 years restoring it. And we moved into this house when I was about 13. Then 15 years ago, we moved back from Hertfordshire to Warwickshire. My husband and I and our children bought the house off my parents, and they renovated a barn close by, and they've been living there. So I've been here with my family for 15 years, and my children can't remember any other home. Anyhow, last year, my husband was told that he could not drive for medical reasons, and so we took the decision to move into town and to be close to the station. And so that's what we're doing. We'll be very sad to leave this house, but we're also very excited at the prospect of a new adventure. Anyhow, this is a pretty big deal for me, and so I wanted to share it with you all. So today I want to talk to you about lockdown weight gain, because I've been chatting to a few of you lately who've told me that you're starting to feel uncomfortable about your lockdown weight gain, because maybe you're going out again for the first time, meeting up with friends, meeting up with work colleagues. Maybe you're having thoughts about what they're thinking about you. It's as though whilst you were in lockdown, you were sort of aware that maybe you were gaining a little weight, but maybe you weren't weighing yourself. Maybe you were wearing a limited number of clothes, so you weren't consciously thinking about it. But first, don't delude yourself that just because you weren't consciously thinking about it, that you didn't know. Even though you weren't surfacing those thoughts, you weren't addressing them, chances are you have been feeling it in your body and also in your emotions for a little while now. You were always maybe carrying the heaviness of that weight physically and emotionally with you. So even though it might feel like you haven't really thought about it much and you're only starting to feel negative about that, it has been there with you. But for right now, maybe you're starting to want to wear clothes you're not seen in a while and they're feeling a little tight. Maybe now you're starting to tell yourself that other people are going to be judging you. What's actually happening when you're thinking that is that you're judging yourself. So if you're feeling uncomfortable with the weight you've put on, but also thinking that you can't face doing anything about it, there are 3 things I want to leave you with today. Number 1, I want you to accept things as they are and not to wish they were different. One of the biggest problems when we gain weight is what we make it mean about ourselves. Clients tell me they feel awful because they've gained weight, that they feel ashamed, that they feel embarrassed. Clients have even told me they feel disgusted with themselves. You might feel this way if you think, I should have known better, I'm a failure, I'm so out of control around food. You might think, I will always be fat. If you find that you ask yourself, what will others think of me? I want you to answer that question for yourself. What do you think of you? Because that is all that matters. I used to think that my inability to lose weight meant that I was flawed or incapable or useless. I used to think that I was greedy, out of control, or weak-willed because I overate. When we're in this spiral of shame and frustration and embarrassment about our weight, it causes us to be so unhappy that if we're a person who eats to feel better, it's going to drive us to eat more. Sometimes we think that by being cross and mean with ourselves, we can almost punish ourselves into stopping overeating or losing weight, but it doesn't happen that way. I want you to allow it to be okay that you gained weight during lockdown. I want you to acknowledge and appreciate that you did the best that you could. I want you to be that understanding friend to yourself who says, It's okay that you gained weight during lockdown. It doesn't mean anything negative about you. It means that your body's survival mechanism kicked in just the way it is programmed to do. You are a beautiful and worthy and capable woman, no matter what the number on the scale says. Your weight does not affect your worthiness. You will always be 100% worthy, no matter what clothes size you wear. Now, if your brain is anything like mine was back when I was struggling, you're going to be having flutterings of vicious thoughts circling in the background saying, yes, but something mean and nasty. Mine always liked to compare me to other people. It liked to say things like, that's all well and good, but other people didn't gain weight, so surely there's something wrong with me. First of all, you have no clue what other people may or may not have done or be doing. Overeating isn't the only thing we do in life to feel better that has a net negative consequence. There are plenty of other things that people do that they maybe wish they didn't, things that aren't as visible so you might never know about them. It doesn't mean that they don't exist. It doesn't mean that those people aren't also suffering. Don't compare yourself to others like that. There is zero benefit, but allow yourself to hear the negative sentences in your mind so that you can talk back to them. Number 2. Make moving forward easier. If you're wanting to lose weight, check in and see what you're thinking about that. What are you telling yourself about what you need to do? How will it feel? What will work? Are you feeling enthused about getting started, or are you dreading it? Do you find yourself putting it off? These are really important questions to answer. I find that so many women have so many bad diet experiences. Maybe they have felt deprived and miserable so many times whilst losing weight that they are very reluctant to get started. They associated losing weight with feeling awful. They associate losing weight with not having fun on the weekends, with feeling hungry, with feeling as though they can't enjoy themselves. Now, if you can relate, if this has been your previous experience of weight loss, I am guessing that the thought of taking care of your weight as you come out of lockdown can finally do more things is maybe something like dread. And I want you to think about weight loss differently. I want you to promise yourself that you will not force yourself into diet deprivation and restriction, but that you will instead find a way of eating or losing weight that feels amazing, that gives you balance between eating for fuel and nutrition and nourishment and eating for pleasure, that puts you in control of everything, that has you seeking to understand yourself and loving yourself exactly as you are instead of wishing you were different. Okay, number 3 is simply get started. Don't wait another moment. Decide to get started right now, this instant, but don't be in a rush. Decide you will take small steps. Decide to do things that feel doable and achievable, things that you can feel good about accomplishing. It might be that as of right now, you make a conscious effort to drink more water today. You could go now and fill up a jug or a large bottle and give yourself the task of finishing that water off before bed. Then you do the same tomorrow and the next day. Just doing that one simple thing is getting started and could have you feeling way better if you're someone who struggles to stay hydrated. Something else you could do is get started creating the habit of writing down everything that you eat. You don't even need to think about changing anything to start with. Just grab a small notebook and get into the habit of writing down the time and what you ate against it. This is a habit that can be formed that will make a phenomenal difference in setting yourself up for weight loss success, because it's a precursor to planning, which is where you learn to use a different part of your brain to help you make better food decisions. And it's also building up information that you can use going forward to identify times of day that you tend to overeat more than others, or particular days of the week that are maybe more difficult. You want to know all of these things so that you can put strategies in place for them. I want you to spot where old diet mentality thinking about being on or off the diet comes in and stop telling yourself you're not doing that anymore. Every single day, you are either showing up for yourself and eating better and creating new habits and taking a step closer towards being the weight you want to be because your eating is aligned with that, or it isn't. And on those days where it isn't, you're using those days as an opportunity to see what's going on for you, to learn and have awareness and then reflect and ponder what you could do differently next time. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. I wanted to share that is an easy way for you to step out of lockdown weight gain, frustration or shame when you've got your own back, when you're showing up as your own best friend. Start by making peace with where you're at and forgiving yourself for gaining weight. Tell yourself it's okay that I gained this weight. Next, uncover your thinking about moving forward and losing weight. Find out what stories you're telling yourself about how awful dieting will be and consider that it doesn't need to be that way. And then lastly, get started right now. It doesn't need to be an all or nothing approach. Make one small change today, do the same thing tomorrow and the day after, and then build on it. Simply make one decision after another that is aligned with where you want to be in 6 months' time. And when you do something that's not aligned, use that as an opportunity to learn and understand and decide what you will do differently next time. Doesn't need to be difficult. Okay, so thank you for listening today and take care. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and are ready to live a more intentional life, lose weight as a part of that journey, and create a relationship with food and yourself that you love, then I would be honoured to be your coach. There are 2 ways that you can work with me. You can join my monthly membership program, My One Life Academy, that gives you self-paced learning, supported by twice weekly live calls and a whole lot more. Or you can join the waiting list for my next 6-month Lose Weight, Live Life group coaching mastermind intensive. Go to www.thebestyou.coach/coaching to find out all the details.